I used to wonder the same thing about my own dog. Why does he always curl up in that same spot, no matter where we are? At first, I thought it was just a quirky habit, but after doing some digging, I uncovered some surprising reasons behind it. And today, I'm excited to share those insights with you. Whether your dog loves the cozy corner, the spot by the window, or snuggles up next to you, what your dog's favorite resting spot says about them might just surprise you. And here's the interesting part. Sometimes, it's not just a space to nap, it's their way of communicating with you. Some dogs are so captivated by the world outside that their favorite resting spot might be a window. Have you ever noticed your dog sitting by the window, eyes wide, tracking every passing car, fluttering bird, or maybe even that squirrel that dares to venture into their yard? This behavior is actually a sign of intelligence. Studies support this, suggesting that dogs who love watching the outside world engage in mental stimulation that's crucial for their well-being. It's not unlike how we enjoy a good people-watching session or get absorbed in observing the world around us. For dogs, it's their version of entertainment. They're processing sights and sounds, figuring out their surroundings, and satisfying their natural instincts. This can be especially common in dogs who are naturally curious or have higher energy levels. My friend Sarah's dog, Max, is the perfect example of a window-loving pooch. Max spends hours sitting by the living room window watching every person who walks by, and he even knows the exact time the mailman arrives. At first, it seemed just like a harmless habit, but then Sarah noticed Max would get more and more excited, even barking loudly when the mailman showed up. However, it wasn't just curiosity anymore. It became territorial behavior. And when Sarah upped his exercise routine, the barking calmed down significantly. So, it's important to note that if your dog becomes fixated on what's outside to the point of aggression or constant barking, this could signal frustration or territorial instincts. These signs indicate that they might not just be entertained, they could be overstimulated or anxious. Giving them more physical and mental stimulation, such as extra playtime or a walk, could help alleviate this restlessness. Some pups are gentle observers. Others turn full security guard. How does your dog react at the window? We'd love to hear the stories that play out behind the glass. Have you ever noticed your dog hiding away under the bed or curling up in a tiny corner that seems almost too small for them? Well, if this is something your dog does regularly, it's not just about finding a cozy corner. It's about creating a sense of security. See, dogs by nature are descendants of wild animals, and in the wild, they would have sought out dens for shelter and protection. It's instinct. So when your dog gravitates toward these tight, enclosed spaces, they're simply doing what feels natural and safe. But here's the catch. While it's perfectly normal, an increase in this behavior could signal stress or anxiety. If it's not typical for them to seek these places out, but suddenly they're spending more time there, it might be time to consider any changes in their environment or routine. Pay attention to how often they retreat to their safe zones. And if anything feels off, consider a visit to the vet. It's important to note that, as much as dogs can be affectionate, they still need their moments of solitude, and respecting that can go a long way. Now, while some dogs love a secluded spot to relax, there are others who simply can't get enough of being in the middle of everything. You know the type. The ones who choose the busiest areas of the house, right in the hallway, across the living room floor, or right where you're working. If your dog prefers being right in the heart of the action, it's a sign they're confident, outgoing, and social. Certain breeds are more likely to be this way. Think Labradors, Golden Retrievers, and any dog known for being a social butterfly. For these dogs, being close to the family and the action makes them feel secure and happy. Sure, it might be a bit inconvenient if they're lying in the middle of the kitchen floor while you're trying to cook, but embracing this behavior is a sign of a well-adjusted, friendly pup. They just want to be part of everything that's going on. If your dog has a tendency to curl up on your clothes or your blanket, it's not just about the softness or warmth. For them, it's all about your scent. Dogs are incredibly scent-driven creatures, and they find comfort in the smell of their favorite humans. When they sleep on your clothes or your bed, it's their way of feeling close to you even when you're not around. It's an act of attachment. Now, here's the twist. While this behavior shows love and affection, it can also be a sign of separation anxiety if they do it excessively. If your dog seems obsessed with lying on your clothes when you're gone, it might be a signal that they need more attention, or perhaps they're having difficulty coping with your absence. Keep an eye on this behavior, and if it becomes more frequent or intense, consider adding more enrichment to their day to help ease any anxiety. Now, let's talk about warmth. You've probably seen it. Your dog sprawled out in a sunspot or near a heater, basking in all that cozy warmth. While cats are famously known for soaking up the sun, dogs have their own need for warmth. For some dogs, especially smaller or older breeds, warmth is more than just a comfort. It's necessary for relief from joint pain or muscle stiffness. Studies show that warmth helps soothe aches, and senior dogs often seek out heat to help with conditions like arthritis. If you've noticed your older dog spending more time by the heater or snuggled up in blankets, it's likely because they're feeling the benefits of that warmth. And as much as we love to see our dogs comfortable, keep an eye on them, especially if they're older. If they're seeking warmth more than usual, it might be worth a checkup with the vet just to rule out any underlying issues. But for now, ensure they have plenty of soft spots to curl up in, and don't hesitate to spoil them with a cozy blanket. Next, we look at dogs that choose to sleep right next to you. Whether they curl up beside you in bed or rest at your feet, this is a clear sign of trust. Dogs, being pack animals by nature, display this behavior instinctively. They view you as their leader and protector. In their own way, they're communicating that they trust you and feel safe in your presence. Sleeping beside you represents the strongest bond between you and your dog. If your dog wants to sleep next to you, it indicates that they consider you an important part of their pack and trust you deeply. But it's not just about sleep. Dogs also seek to be close to you during the day, continuously desiring your presence and affection. For them, the closer, the better. If your dog always picks you as their favorite sleeping companion, even when other options are available, feel free to share that bond below. It never gets old. Lastly, if your dog actively chooses to sleep in their crate, don't be alarmed. For many dogs, crates are their safe space, a little den that provides comfort and security. It's not a sign of isolation. It's their way of finding peace and quiet in their own little world. However, if your dog suddenly starts seeking out the crate more than usual, it might indicate a change in their emotional state or even health concerns. Dogs that seek out their crates may need more time to adjust to something in their environment, or they may need reassurance. So remember that your dog's favorite spot tells you a lot more than you might think. Whether it's curling up in a hidden nook, basking in the warmth of a sunny spot, or simply wanting to be close to you, their behavior speaks volumes about their personality, emotions, and physical needs. Take the time to pay attention, and you'll learn even more about what makes your furry friend tick. If you've enjoyed learning about your dog's habits, don't forget to share this video with your fellow dog lovers. And remember, understanding your dog's needs not only strengthens your bond, but ensures they're as happy and healthy as they can be.